Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. This is episode number 11, and we're going to continue this episode on the offensive. Hopefully we'll be pushing completely beyond the original battle lines with the Germans. Starting in the north, our plan here is just to stay bunkered down. I did move this cavalry forward just to claim a little bit more territory, which will make it harder for them to reclaim that territory. But other than that, I'm not going to move or attack. I had this armor move just to conquer this one hex that was bothering my OCD-ness. So we did conquer that, but this unit is not going to move south because there's infantry guns here, and I want to force them to move if they want to bombard. It'll decrease the number of action points they have. Although I haven't seen them bombard yet, and I hope that's not just some fault in the enemy AI, or just in the computer AI. That being said, let's just go ahead and start with our bombardment. I already know which ones I want to attack, so I'm going to do some artillery on this guy. There won't be any actual land combat on this northern blue area, unless, well, I'm hoping that I can do some good damage to this hex, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's also do artillery on this guy. And we'll follow up with a dive bomb attack because supposedly this guy has 4 armored cars, and I would like to eliminate those. Not much done here, but let's see what the follow-up attack does. Kill those armored. Wow. Not spectacular. Really good job attacking the rifle, but we only got 2 armored cars. But that's fine. I'm sure that the combat value of these guys is greatly reduced. 56, 17, 38. It's about 100. I'm okay with that. We will defend very well against attack values of only 100. This one, I'm just going to dive bomb. I'm running out of artillery, so I do want to weaken this guy. Just he has enough armored cars and stuff that I'm pretty sure that even this will be really sufficient for destroying their combat value. Yeah, they're down to about 70, 80, I guess. Now this is a huge hex. We got a lot of stuff here. We got the armor. We got enough rifles. So he's going to receive the full treatment. Artillery first, and then dive bomb. Let's see what happens. Pretty good. And dive bomb. Okay. Not bad. A lot of retreating. I would prefer destroy, but 3 of the 7 destroyed. The rest retreated. The good news is this did lower the combat value of this hex. Now this, because I just don't have enough resources, I'm not going to be able to attack this guy. So he's the only unit on the front that remains untouched this turn. But that's okay. I think if I'm able to lower the combat value enough here, I'm going to move in which case this guy won't be as essential to my defense. Like, how would I say this? They won't be able to attack this hex from 3 sides, which would be certainly the role of this unit here, if I'm able to conquer this one, which will probably prevent them from attacking at all. So if I'm able to conquer this hex, this unit becomes less of a threat. That wasn't so bad. So let's go ahead and do that then. Artillery first, and then follow up with the dive bomb. Alright, that was pretty good. I mean, for lowering of readiness, didn't kill too many units, but let's see how the dive bombers do on the follow-up. Come on, really do some work. Definitely at least kill those infantry guns. Oh, we let 2 armored cars go, though. That shouldn't be too bad, actually, because I'll be attacking with tanks, and they will just rip the armored cars apart. I'm pretty happy with this. Their total readiness is down to about 44. We lowered their entrenchment, and we killed quite a few to boot. So yeah, their combat value is about to 60, 70. I'm okay with that, because I'll be attacking from 3 sides. And yeah, I think with the readiness low, a combat value of 70 with a readiness low means units are going to retreat really quickly, and then they won't contribute their combat value anymore. So we should overwhelm this unit. I'd prefer a 70 combat value combined from many many forces with low readiness. For that exact reason, that they'll retreat quicker, and then my combat value will overwhelm them very quickly. If they were all at 100 readiness, that combat value, like of 70, would stay in the fight longer before people started retreating. So that's good. Now to the, okay, so that's all the dive bombing and artillery I can do in the north. In the south, I do have this one infantry I've moved forward. I'm going to attack this hex from 3 sides. Now I have 4 artillery in the south as well, but only 2 dive bombers. So the dive bombing I really have to plan out a little better. This is the most obvious hex for the dive bombers. There's like 8 units of value as I perceive them. Artillery or armored cars, I just both lump into targets of opportunity for my dive bombers. So I'd count this as a value of 8. And this is the next best one with a value of 4 infantry guns. And it's on the front, that's a valuable target. However, I'm going to actually attack the unit in the south here. And that's because, as we see from the dive bomber image, the attack range of my dive bombers in the south is right at the limit over here. Which means that if this unit retreats back, it's no longer a target for dive bombing until I build an airfield or until I take Trier. So what I want to do is I'm going to ignore this unit because I'll be able to dive bomb it next turn. And even if it inflicts some casualties this turn, I'm willing to suffer a little bit more losses to inflict more losses. So I'm going to hold off on this guy, and he may not even do anything because I have a pretty strong line here. And hopefully by the end of this turn I'll own this hex, which means I will have 3, I will be surrounding this guy. And that should also discourage him from attacking. He should just be building up his entrenchment. So for all those reasons, I'm going to dive bomb this one in the south. Now it's already going to be really overwhelmed by my huge combat advantage in the south. 3 hexes, each one of those outnumbers it 3 to 1, so I have like 9 to 1 odds on it. But I don't know, since infantry guns fight in the rear, see rear area true, that means that they'd be harder to kill in this attack. So I'm going to not risk it. I'm just going to wipe him out early. And one retreated, but that's fine. So this hex was just destroyed. I almost... Good gracious. Well, now it seems like incredible overkill for me to attack this hex with all 3. So what will I do instead? I guess, I mean, it only makes sense. These guys have to move in here anyway, so the only thing that makes sense is for me to attack with both of these. So I guess I'll do that. Let's start off the attacks down here. Now this armor is normally what I would push forward. The funny thing is, this armor doesn't have that many action points because remember, he was the one who was attacked last turn, twice, and he had to be reinforced. Now those reinforcements suffer some action point penalties and readiness penalties just because they're put in. I think it's actually that they suffer the readiness penalty because they're transported in, and the units that are shifting divisions always suffer some readiness penalty. There was already some low readiness because they were attacked, and then on top of that, when you get to the new turn, since the readiness isn't at 100, the action points won't move to 100 either. So that's what I suspect happened, and they won't be able to make it all the way to this oil. I'll probably push forward, actually, with this infantry, so we'll see what happens. Let's do the attack. And they aren't even going to retreat. They're just totally wiped out. Okay, so it's a good thing we didn't move with like more than more than 2 units. Okay, let's see. Can this guy move anywhere? No. So he cannot even move forward. But this guy can. Now from here, we're given enough reconnaissance to see that we have a pretty big stack. Now the reconnaissance is only 38. This might be wildly inaccurate. Is that within the range of my dive bombers? I'm not going to attack it, but it is. Okay. So I might just hold the line there. I'll be able to attack this guy still, and we'll get him from 2 sides, this guy and this guy, so that'll just be overwhelming. Okay, well, that's the next step. Now, I still have 4 artillery in the south. It's clear that I want to bomb this one. I want to bomb and dive bomb this one. But I think the next one that's going to get a barrage is this one, and that's this guy. The final one will probably be this guy. What I'm going to do, though, because I don't need the action points as much this turn, and I want to move this guy into position to use the artillery on the next turn, is I'm going to move him forward. That's going to take 30% of his bombardment capability. And now I'm going to bombard this guy. I could have bombarded him from here, but I want this guy to be in range of these two for the next turn, and with all of his action points remaining. So let's do it this way. Okay, with only 7 combat rounds, we didn't expect too much. I was hoping for more than 1 kill, but we did lower their entrenchment, readiness, all those stats a little bit. Okay, maybe you don't even hit them as well if you have lower reconnaissance. Artillery might be linked to reconnaissance. That would be intelligent even. The better you can spot, the better you can kill. So, okay, next thing's next. We're going to attack here. Now, this guy, if he moves here, I'm assuming he'll still have enough action points to attack here. I'm almost positive. Because this should only take 30 to move, and then 40 because it's an attack, which will give him 60 left over here. Let's find out if that's true. Go, go. Attack. And wiped him out. Didn't lose a single thing. That's incredible. That's because their readiness was so low. Yeah, this is the combat. That was the hex with only the 5. So they moved up there. That's even better because I'll be attacking there. So I can still attack. That's wonderful. Now this one is going to get the same kind of treatment. I'm going to move forward with this artillery so that I'll be able to attack next turn. And I'm going to bombard with just whatever remaining points I have. So we should be able to get 7 combat rounds in, and well, we're already doing some good damage. Oh, 6. I guess it costs, what, 35 to move there? I thought it would only cost 30. But wow, still, the readiness is lowered by half. Yeah, it was 35 to move in there. Oh, that's fine, though. We got 6 good rounds in, and obviously with the surroundment that I have, we're just going to obliterate these guys. And now my armor will be back even, so we kind of like, the front is moving forward with the armor, and that's how I want it. The armor can break through, take advantage of weakened, broken units, but after that I want them to remain back on the line. Even this guy, maybe I shouldn't even attack with this guy, because I suspect that these guys will retreat back here. If I do the supply from here, yeah, it falls from here. If my guess is correct that units retreat back to in the direction of their supply, these guys will fall back to here, which means that this tank will be able to follow up. Now I think he has 100 action points, so if he attacks here, he'll certainly be able to follow up and attack from here to there. But I'm not sure it's worth it. It might be better to save his readiness for the follow-up attack. I mean, if this is a combat value of 30, we already have practically 10 to 1. So let's just do that. Let's just do the attack from here and here. So it should be really overwhelming. Okay, we did take some casualties. Some significant casualties, but really worth it. We lost 8 total, and they lost about 34. So I'll take that. 4 to 1 odds. Now, my machine guns are more expensive than their rifles, but their trucks are even more expensive than my machine guns. So that's still a trade-off that I'll take. Because you'll notice that the vehicle factories, they cannot produce, neither of these guys can produce trucks. So trucks are still tied to your normal, your like city-only supply or production. Okay, so that did not work how I expected. They did retreat down over here. Okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that. It looks like this is going to be some pretty good armored car stuff, which might be a good thing for my tanks to attack. I do have 2 tanks. Oh, but I was going to attack here. Okay, well, let's just do this artillery and dive bomb here first, because I know what's going to happen. So I might as well see what's going to happen, what kind of reduction I get. I mean, if we cause... I want infantry damage right now, but that's okay. Well, we did a lot of readiness damage. I would still hope for some kills on those infantry guns and armored cars. That is much more like it. Why did it break off after round 5? What? Oh my gosh, I totally messed up here. I had both dive bombers available because this unit was so destroyed by the air attack that my dive bombers actually came back with half their action points available. Wow, that's really cool. So this one actually has the action points for a follow-up. Okay, I'm not sure if my follow-up should happen here or here. This is really interesting because I think enough damage was done that I can attack in. Since I can get 4 hexes involved, that's pretty good. Do I want to get 4 hexes involved? I can get 4 hexes involved if I do here. I can even get 5. That's incredible. So I think I will move this armor here and then attack from 4 sides. And then these 2 armor can move here and here to attack this guy. And I can dive bomb that guy first. Well, unless I dive bomb this guy. Let's see what the artillery does here. Wow, it did really well. I mean, it destroyed one of their infantry guns, and hopefully it lowered the readiness of the other ones. Let's see. 69, 40. Perfect. Okay, so I really don't need to do a follow-up dive bomb attack here. No reason to do one here. We have infantry gun and armor cart. This is just the juiciest target. It's the new, look at their 20, readiness is 25, readiness is, 100. Yeah, let's get these guys. Let's dive bomb. That worked out really well. Let's do it. So it turns out my stats were way inaccurate. There's only a total of 4 armor cars here, not 6. And we killed 3 of them. That's really good. Now this unit is just decimated and vulnerable to a follow-up. Now, it would be unfortunate. Okay, yeah, there's no way that they can break through and these guys can't break through and kill my artillery, so I will go ahead and do this follow-up attack. We'll move here and move here, and we'll attack with both of these guys. Just punch through. I lost a tank. Good lord. Well, I'm not sure how we lost a tank doing that, but we did, and we lost a machine gun. We only killed 12 rifles in a submachine gun. That's very surprising considering their initial readiness was 37. I'm not... whatever. A tank got a little ahead of himself and got himself killed. That's fine. Now, it's interesting to think what is the best strategy here. I could even go up here. So I know I want to move here. I can... So it looks like being in an enemy zone of control costs 10 action points by itself. So the moving into this hex would normally cost 30. I should say, moving into a normal plains hex, either plains or fields, is 20 for track. But it's an additional 10 moving in because of the enemy territory, and it appears that the number is 40 because I'm moving through enemy zone of control. So that makes sense. Now the action point penalty system is really making sense. It's not just 10 to move into enemy territory, it's an additional 10 moving through enemy zone of control. Which is good. That's good because typically these games don't even allow you to move through enemy zone of control, or if you do, you can opt to, but the enemy has a free attack or something, you know. So that's good, some kind of mechanic to discourage you from just weaving your way through enemy units. Okay, well... I wonder what the best thing to do here is. I think we'll just so overwhelm them that it doesn't matter. And I probably do want this guy to move north to force these guys here, because if I move this guy, he is 94, so it'll cost him probably 40 or something. I should be able to move here afterwards, so I can hold my line again. Okay, well let's do it, because it will be a pretty good surround. And it'll force these units to stay on the front where I can destroy them next turn. Let's get all the people to attack. So really all. And huge surroundment bonus. A little bit of an attack stack penalty, even though I'm attacking from all 4 hexes, which could cause some casualties for us, but really mainly from them. 49 rifles killed. 1 armor car, 2 infantry guns. Really good damage. And they did move up as I expected. Now this guy, instead of moving there, there's no need. Let's move him over here. So now we're preserving our front. This guy, there's no reason for him not to move in. We can even do a follow-up attack there. That's interesting. We would fight 37 rifles at full strength, though. I think we're done with our little attacks for this turn. Because we'll have more artillery next turn, we'll have more dive bombers next turn, and there's no reason why we shouldn't just wait for those to come into play. But we've done some pretty good movement. Now, to follow up with the south, do we want to push on? I guess not. Let's save those attacks for, again, artillery, and probably not dive bombers anymore. So we definitely want to neutralize these guys with artillery next turn before we attack in, because they're in the low mountains. And I don't even want to attack him with the light tanks because they'll suffer such a penalty going into the, I mean, what's their landscape? Low mountains minus 50% attack. Yeah, we don't want that. Okay, well I think that's all that we wanted to do for this turn. I've already done production stuff behind the scenes. I got all my engineers actually to the oils. So I got 2 more oils that have been upgraded to level 2. I mean 2 more. Those are the only 2 I have upgraded to level 2. And that's good because I'm down to 12 oil, which I did not even notice. So I don't think I can even, can I move? Yeah, see, now it's giving me this fuel thing. That's really cool. So I actually can't move my guys any further forward. So I'm kind of curious. It doesn't let me do it? Oh, you just move slower out of fuel. Oh, that's not bad. Well, that's not as bad as I thought. So it normally costs, I guess it costs 3 times as much when you're out of fuel. Let's go to general stats. Out of fuel, movement is divided by 3. Yes, so it does cost 3 times as much. Oh, that's okay. That doesn't seem like it should be like maybe divided by 4 even. Well, I guess divided by 3 means you can't even move anywhere that isn't normal planes. Okay. Well, let's end the turn and see what the Germans have in store for us. I think, if I was them, I'd be surrendering. Oh, I forgot, one more mechanic. As you can hear, hopefully hear, let me see. I have a dice. It's actually, well, anyway, what I'm going to start doing is at the end of this turn, I don't have enough political points on this one, by the way, to get the artillery because I had to upgrade the oil. But that should change next turn. I should have enough to do artillery and 1 more oil. Now, I want to have 20 political points with me at all times because I'm going to start rolling a dice, and if I get, let's say, a 5 or a 6, I'm going to pretend that the Chinese declared war on me by declaring war on them. This will just make it a little more interesting because, I don't know, it's just boring that the Chinese are, this is the best time for them to strike and they just sit on their lines. And it'll really make things interesting if I have to actually defend on 2 fronts. Maybe even impossible, but I think I'm winning this war in the West so easily that I want to make things a little more challenging. Okay, so I did not roll the appropriate number right now. Just do 1. Yeah, still didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and end this turn. I guess I should declare war at the beginning of my turn. It'd be nice if the Chinese actually just still declared war on their own, but I just don't think it'll happen. Any attacks? Any attacks? Whoa, oh my god, 400. Good lord. Oh, okay, so big time retreat in the north. The Germans just overcommitted to that island. I know they have a city there, but okay, good. So we're back up to 2,700 oil. That's good. And our dive bombers are using a ton of oil. I mean, general stats. So fuel for an attack is 10. That's not as bad as I thought. So every dive bomb mission I go on is probably costing me 100. Oh, that makes sense. So if I have 6 here, so my dive bombers I think are costing me like 600 per turn in attacks. Or maybe it's 10 per space that you go to attack. Or the most likely situation is fuel for move happens until you get to the hex. Then you increase the total fuel consumption by fuel to attack. So So I suspect, although I'm going to end this episode here and come back, we only did one turn again, but, well, let's go ahead and let's see our declare war. Oops. No, still too low. Okay, that's fine. So no war declaration here. I'm just going to pan over the front and note anything I can see. It looks like this unit moved out of here into here. That's just going to be an opportunity for me to attack. And this is where this armor will eventually come into play. It'll be able to blow through this. The oils is plains. Now we can't go through the rock because it's low mountains, but we could sweep around. Looks like there's some weak units here. So this unit was able to get fully resupplied because there's tanks in the headquarters, main headquarters. They did push back up here, but they didn't bombard me. So I will have to use my artillery and my dive bombers here, probably. Oh my gosh, I forgot to attack into this hex last turn. That was a mistake, but that's fine. It's okay. We can do it this turn. And definitely, we're going to attack into this one. This won't even be dive bombed. It'll just be attacked, overwhelmed. And then we can probably attack in here. Okay, well, I'll give some other things a bit of a think off camera, and then I will come back ready to attack them next turn. Until then, take care.